let's talk about how to set up focus types in the FocusBear preferences. At a high level, the idea of a focus type or a focus mode is that when you're working, you have often different types of work. For myself, as an example, I oscillate between doing programming work where I will allow basically my code editor and a few websites, but block almost everything else. And then the other type of work that I do is customer support, where I'm reading emails, and again, I don't really need access to much else. When you make a focus mode, let's say I set one up for customer support. By default, all apps and all URLs are allowed. This approach is rarely useful for me. It's too open. It's too easy for me to get distracted. I can find myself going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole, and 2 hours later I've read a lot about Russian tanks, but I haven't really done the work that I was meant to do. For that reason, I essentially designed this feature so that it would solve my own problem. And what I found to work well for me is that if I'm doing customer support, that's all I'm doing. I'll come in here and I'll allow my web browser, and I'll allow certain URLs. Let's say I use Zoho Desk for my customer support. And with that configuration, I can go to Zoho Desk, and that is allowed. But if I go and search for Russian tanks here, it will block it automatically. No problem at all using the sites that I need to use, and everything else will get blocked. In order to set up those URLs, you can specify it by putting in a URL like that. But you'll find that sometimes that can be a bit too granular, that often a website will have subdomains. And so I might prefer to do something more like this, where it will allow any website that includes Zoho.com. I can even do any website that contains Zoho. And the cool thing about this is it will work not just based on the URL, but also on the title of the website, which means that if I go to YouTube, or first I go to Google and search for Zoho, and then if I open a YouTube video that has Zoho in the title, I can watch that. But then if I go and click on a related video about how 10 hacks to make your kitchen cleaning more efficient, the YouTube algorithm will try and take me off course. But FocusBear will block that. It will basically block any website that doesn't have Zoho in the title. It's really effective if you find distractions are a problem, because you can tell FocusBear what websites and what apps are safe, and it will block everything else. The other thing that you can do, you might, sometimes you might have, say if I do Zoho, that I want to allow that, but I don't want to allow, for some reason, maybe there's games.zoho.com, they don't have that, but imagine, for example, with certain websites, even, for example, if you're a social media marketer, some parts of Facebook may be safe to use. There might be facebook.com/business manager or ads manager might be safe. Or for me, I sometimes run Reddit ads. So ads.reddit.com would be safe, but I would want to block normal Reddit, or I would want to block certain subdomains. You can set that up. Generally, you don't have to do this. This is only really to be used in rare cases. Most of the time, the way that you're going to set it up is you're going to have blocked URLs here. These URLs are always blocked any time of the day, and that even when you're on a break. And you're going to have the list of allowed URLs here. And these advanced settings, most people won't need to use them. Some people might want to run a script after they start a focus mode and after they finish one. Most people don't need to do that though.